Mobile phones, one of the greatest inventions of our era. It allows us to connect to people around the world, offer unlimited knowledge, and enable things that were once impossible. But think about this. When was the last time you went a full hour without checking your phone? If that question makes you pause, you're not alone. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day, which is about once every 10 minutes. We wake up, then immediately check notifications. We sit down to work, then check social media. We take a break, then scroll through TikTok or Instagram. By the end of the day, we're drained. And worst of all, we don't even realize where our energy went. Misdirected energy is a major reason we struggle to achieve our goals and dreams. Constant phone checking or getting lost in social media pulls our focus away from what truly matters, leaving us feeling tired and unsure of where our energy went. But it's not just our phones. There are many things that quietly drain our energy. Procrastination, overthinking, overcomplication, and surrounding ourselves with negativity. And often we don't even notice it's happening. Here's the thing. Energy is the currency of your life. It determines how much you get done, how motivated you feel, and whether or not you achieve your goals. You can't do great things if your energy is being stolen by distractions. This constant drain, even in small amounts, can add up and leave us feeling exhausted without ever realizing where all the energy went. The key is to recognize these drains and make conscious efforts to minimize them. In this session, we will explore practical strategies to identify and manage these energy drains, allowing you to reclaim your focus, boost your productivity, and protect your energy. We'll discuss how to recognize the subtle ways that distractions steal your power, and how small shifts in your habits can lead to big changes in your ability to stay energized and motivated. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear roadmap for taking control of your energy and using it to propel you toward your goals. The social media trap. There are many subtle forces in our lives that quietly drain our energy. Mundane habits we barely notice, but that accumulate over time. These small actions, repeated daily, might seem insignificant, but their cumulative effect can be surprisingly depleting. Checking our phones, getting distracted, and scrolling through social media eats away at our focus, leaving us with less energy to devote to what truly matters. What started as a tool to connect with others has evolved into a platform that constantly demands our attention and engagement. While it may seem free, the cost is far from negligible. We pay with our time, our mental energy, and our ability to focus. These are assets that are irreplaceable and invaluable. Imagine how this time could be better spent. Planning for your future, acquiring new knowledge, networking with people who inspire you, or savoring moments with those you love. Instead, we end up spending hours mindlessly scrolling on a screen without any clear purpose in mind. Have you ever asked yourself why you picked up your phone in the first place? What was your goal? What productive thought prompted the action of opening an app and losing yourself in a stream of posts that hold no real value to your life? What did you gain as soon as you stopped? Social media scrolling is like a quiet thief that steals our time and energy. It's important to recognize this and to use these platforms in moderation. Or if they offer no real benefit, to step away from them entirely. To borrow a line from Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long if you know how to use it. This line teaches us an important lesson about time. It reminds us that it's not the amount of time we have that limits us, but how we choose to spend it. So often, we allow distractions, things like mindlessly scrolling through social media, checking our phones constantly, and getting caught in small, seemingly harmless activities to drain our time and energy. In doing so, we fail to use that time in ways that could enrich our lives. The truth is, time is precious. It moves quickly, and yet we often spend it on things that don't add value to our lives. Social media started as a tool to connect with others, but now it often takes us away from what really matters. And while we may think it's harmless to scroll just a little bit more, those minutes, hours, and days can add up, leaving us with less energy for the things that truly contribute to our well-being. Take a hard look at how you spend your time. Are you making intentional choices? Are you using your time in ways that help you grow, achieve your goals, and connect meaningfully with others? Or are you letting distractions quietly steal it away? It's up to you to make better choices, to take control of your time, and to use it wisely. Time is energy. Just as Einstein's famous equation, E=mc², it reveals the profound relationship between energy and time. Our lives are shaped by how we convert our time into meaningful action. Mindless scrolling and endless distractions drain that energy, leaving little in return. The life you live is the one you create with the time you have. So make it count. Focus your energy with intention and turn your time into something truly valuable. Procrastination kills dreams. Procrastination often feels like a way to conserve energy, a way to avoid effort. But here's the truth. Procrastination is actually an energy vampire, slowly draining your vitality over time. Now you might be wondering, how can that be? I'm avoiding work, so shouldn't I be saving my energy? While it may seem like putting off tasks is a way to conserve effort, it is, in fact, an illusion. Procrastination tricks us into believing that we are preserving our energy. But in reality, it only creates mental clutter and anxiety, draining us more in the long run. Procrastination is an illusion of energy conservation, and it's nothing but a trap. Think about it. When we procrastinate, it feels like we're taking a break from the hard work ahead. We decide to scroll through social media, check emails, or watch just one more episode of our favorite show. In the moment, it feels like we're resting. We feel as though we're saving ourselves for the big task later. But here's the thing. That rest is a temporary relief from the discomfort of facing something challenging, but it doesn't recharge us. In reality, procrastination doesn't save energy. It wastes it, because even when we're not working on the task, our mind is still preoccupied. We're thinking about the task, worrying about how much time we've lost, feeling guilty, or stressing about the consequences of not completing it. That's mental and emotional energy being drained in the background. Let's look at an example. Imagine you have a big project due at work or school. You know it's coming and the deadline looms. The task feels huge, and the idea of tackling it seems overwhelming. So you decide that you will deal with it tomorrow. You put it off thinking that you deserve a break. Now in that moment, it feels like you're conserving your energy. But what really happens is that instead of resting, you're unconsciously creating a stress loop. Your mind subconsciously will wonder if you'll have enough time, if the task is too hard, or if you'll even be able to finish it at all. That constant mental chatter, that nagging feeling of stress and guilt, will slowly eat away at your energy. By the time tomorrow rolls around, you realize you've lost more energy than you would have, and should have just taken the task head-on in the first place. What felt like a break actually ended up draining you, more than if you had simply tackled the work when you first thought about it. This is not to say that we should never rest or take breaks while working toward our goals. Rest is essential for recharging our energy and maintaining our mental health. The key here is recognizing the difference between a genuine, restorative break and using procrastination as an excuse to avoid the task altogether. It's about balance. Pausing for a moment to recharge is fine, but constant intentional delay and avoiding to resume the task only makes it feel harder and drains you more in the long run. So take those moments to rest, but don't let procrastination take away your momentum. This is what procrastination does to you. It takes away your momentum. The longer you avoid a task, the harder it feels to start. The mental burden you carry with each delay ends up consuming more of your energy than if you'd simply tackled it right away. So what's the solution? How do we break free from this cycle of procrastination? The first step is to recognize it. Recognize that what you are doing is procrastination. When you feel like procrastinating, acknowledge that it's actually draining your mental energy. That guilt and anxiety you're feeling aren't helping you. They're just adding to your mental load. You can also focus on small wins. When your main goal feels too daunting or distant, break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. However, let's be clear. This isn't about selling yourself short or procrastinating midway through your journey. It's about acknowledging and celebrating each step you take, as these incremental victories bring you closer to the finish line. For instance, if you dream of starting your own business, you can begin by setting achievable milestones, researching your market, drafting a business plan, or even brainstorming your brand identity. These may seem like modest accomplishments on their own, but each one is a significant step forward. By focusing on these smaller, tangible goals, you maintain momentum without feeling overwhelmed. Another powerful way to break free from the grip of procrastination is to build momentum. Begin with something simple, something that feels manageable. Once you take that first step, you'll quickly realize the task is not as intimidating as it once appeared from afar. Often, the hardest part is simply getting started, but once you do, momentum naturally takes over. Consider the example of adopting a fit lifestyle. The initial hurdle might be as simple as stepping into the gym. But if you can make it a daily habit to walk through those doors, you'll find yourself gradually moving closer to your goal, almost effortlessly. Each visit, no matter how small, builds momentum, which makes the next step feel easier and the goal feel more attainable. It's the power of small actions adding up, propelling you forward toward success. You can also break free from procrastination by shifting your mindset. Rather than perceiving the task as a daunting mountain to climb, see it as a valuable opportunity to learn, grow, and achieve. Instead of fixating on the discomfort or difficulty of the task, focus on the satisfaction and sense of accomplishment that await once it's completed. Consider the challenge of learning to play a musical instrument like the guitar. At first, it may seem overwhelming. The chords, the finger coordination, and the complexity of different strumming patterns might all feel like insurmountable obstacles. But if you approach it with the mindset that each practice session is an opportunity to expand your abilities, you begin to see the process as a journey of self-improvement. Rather than dwelling on the initial difficulties, you find motivation in the rewards of progress and mastery. This shift in perspective not only makes the task feel less intimidating, but also propels you forward with a sense of purpose and determination. By recognizing procrastination for what it is, celebrating small wins, building momentum, and shifting your mindset, you begin to break free from the mental blocks holding you back. Every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal, creating momentum that makes progress feel easier and more rewarding. The journey may be challenging, but it's also an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. So ask yourself, what small step can you take today to move forward? How can you shift your perspective to see every challenge as an opportunity, rather than an obstacle? Procrastination is the illusion of energy conservation. which promises relief but only leads to more stress, guilt, and wasted energy. Don't wait for the right moment to start. The right moment is waiting for you. Use your energy to move forward, and watch how much easier and more fulfilling your journey becomes. Overcomplication. Imagine trying to untangle a pair of headphones that have been sitting in your pocket for too long. At first glance, it seems like a small knot. Nothing serious, but the more you pull and twist without a clear strategy, the worse it gets. Frustration builds, time slips away, and before you know it, you're caught in a loop of unnecessary struggle. That's exactly what happens when we overcomplicate things. We believe that adding more steps, more details, or more options will lead to better outcomes. But in reality, overcomplication doesn't enhance efficiency. It drains our mental clarity, productivity, and motivation. Now, you might be wondering, how can more effort lead to less progress? Shouldn't being thorough make things better? It feels logical, but just like that tangled mess of headphones, overcomplication doesn't make things more effective. It makes them harder to manage. There's a hidden cost in overcomplication. Think about it. When we add unnecessary layers to a task, it might feel like we're being meticulous or preparing for every possible scenario. But in truth, it slows us down. Take planning a project, for example. You want everything to be perfect, so you create multiple spreadsheets, endless to-do lists, and overanalyze every potential outcome. But instead of helping, this overload of information becomes overwhelming. You get stuck in analysis paralysis, where the sheer weight of your own preparation prevents you from taking action. The real issue? Overcomplication steals our momentum. The more complex we make something, the harder it feels to start. The mental burden of managing excessive details drains our energy before we even begin. So how do we break free from overcomplication? Try to recognize when complexity isn't serving you. Simplicity doesn't mean cutting corners. It means focusing on what truly matters. When you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, am I adding complexity for a good reason? Or am I just making things harder for myself? You should also start taking action. Instead of overplanning, take the first step. If you're learning a new skill, for example, don't drown yourself in endless research. Just start practicing. Create momentum by taking action. Look also to embrace the power of constraints. Sometimes, less is more. Setting clear boundaries on time, resources, or steps forces us to focus on efficiency. For example, giving yourself a set time limit to complete a task can boost productivity by preventing overanalysis. It will also be best to shift your mindset from perfection to progress. Many times, overcomplication comes from a fear of imperfection. But waiting for the perfect moment or perfect plan only leads to delay. You should instead focus on making progress. Small steps add up over time. Simplicity is not about doing less, but rather about focusing on what truly matters. By recognizing when complexity no longer serves us, taking decisive action, embracing the power of constraints, and shifting our mindset from perfection to progress, we create space for clarity and efficiency. Let's take another example. Say you want to start a business. It's an exciting endeavor, but it can quickly get overwhelming if you start trying to perfect every little detail from the get-go. You might find yourself building intricate business plans, analyzing every market trend, or creating complex marketing strategies before even launching your product. However, if you try to do everything perfectly right from the start, you'll likely stall before even getting your first sale. Instead, the key is to simplify. Think of it like trying to build a house. If you focus first on laying a strong foundation, like your business idea, a simple plan, and getting your product out there, you can adjust and refine the rest as you go. Don't get bogged down in the fancy features like logos or marketing campaigns until your business is up and running. Just start with the essential steps. Overcomplicating things at the beginning will drain your energy and prevent you from taking action. But by simplifying your approach, focusing on starting, testing, and iterating, you'll find yourself moving forward much faster, learning from the real-world feedback rather than spinning in the planning stage. This applies to any big venture, whether it's starting a business, launching a new product, or learning a new skill. Simplify to accelerate. Build momentum through action, not through overthinking. Overcomplication masquerades as productivity, but in reality, it's very similar to procrastination. The more tangled we make things, the more energy we waste on managing complexity instead of making real progress. Energy is a limited resource. If we spend it on unnecessary decisions, we won't have enough for the things that truly move us forward. So, ask yourself, where in my life am I making things harder than they need to be? What can I simplify today to move forward with more clarity and ease? The path to success isn't found in layers of complexity. It's found in focused, intentional action. Keep it simple and you'll find yourself achieving more with less effort. Let me leave you with this. By focusing our energy on meaningful goals and authentic aspirations, we create a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose. When we focus on what truly matters, success and personal satisfaction will naturally follow. Find out what's draining your energy. Is it endless scrolling, overcomplication, or is it procrastination? If something adds value to your life, keep it. If it weighs you down, set boundaries or let it go. Not everything that takes your energy deserves it. Once you take control, you'll feel lighter, more focused, and more in charge of your life. Here's my challenge for you. For 1 week, track where your energy goes. Write it down. Notice the patterns. Then start making small changes. Replace social media with reading or learning. Replace mindless scrolling with exercise. Relieve yourself from draining thoughts and take those first steps. At the end of the day, you don't need more time. You just need to stop giving your energy away to things that don't serve you. Reclaim control over your time, energy, and, most importantly, your future. The insights shared in this session can help you shape your path toward success. So be sure to use them as tools to a better you and achieve the dream you always wanted. If you find this session valuable, go ahead and hit the like button. It is highly appreciated. You may also share this session to anyone else who you believe can benefit from it. Subscribe to the channel so you'll stay connected and attend to more valuable content to keep you motivated and focused on your growth. Let's keep pushing forward together. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you again as we go through this life-changing journey.